Hi, thank you for coming. My name is Sahar Khajeh. I'm originally from Iran, but I live and work in UK. I'm graphic lecturer at University of Hertfordshire and the director of my own graphic design company. My PhD research is focused on lack of visual excellence in design quality of bioscript typefaces, including Arabic and Latin script. Imagine all of us might happen to write an article or even want to write a message on email or through social media and use two different scripts. So that's why I became interested to investigate these details in deep and see how does it work. During this research, I realized that, for example, when we have one book or one article, it's written in both Arabic and Latin scripts, there is a lack of visual excellence. I expected to have more visual map between the shape of letter forms and scripts, because when there is visual excellence within the typefaces, it helps readability. It helps us to read the article faster and understand the content better. So rather than starting to design different typefaces and investigate how the visual works, I tried to do the research about the content and see what's the problems. And I found different problems in different areas and multiple gaps within this research, which I want to bring it up and negotiate about that. The first thing that is important to know is the characteristics of Arabic letter forms, especially when it juxtaposes with English and Latin script. So first, it's important to know that Arabic script is cursive, and each letter forms based on the position of the letter forms within one word has different shape. It might connect it to the previous and formal letter form based on its position on the word. As we see, there are few letter forms which are not connected together, but few are connected. It's different to Latin cursive because Latin cursive has been created for the aim of faster writing, but Arabic by nature is cursive. We don't have any other style of Arabic. The other important issue to notice is that Arabic loses its readability if the letter forms are disconnected. So on all the cases, it's connected and cursive. And there are multiple glyphs. When we want to join one letter form to the other one, it's connected by glyphs. These glyphs are flexible. For example, if we have a block of text and we want to juxtapose that box of text alongside the Latin script, if we align the box of text from both sides, within the Arabic script, the glyphs stretch, but within the Latin letter forms, it would result in bigger gap between the letter forms and empty spaces. So it's really important to consider when we put these two texts together. But the other objectives that we have when we put these two scripts together is the direction of the writing and reading the scripts. Arabic script is written and read from right to left, but Latin script is written and read from left to right. So in this case, when we have to, at the first right image, when we have two different texts in two different languages, and especially it includes the numbers, where it says gates and above it says al-bawabat in Arabic, we read the Arabic from right to left, and then we have to look at the numbers and write it from left to right. So this kind of direction of writing is affecting the way that we make connection within the text. But at the middle image, you see that we have the Arabic text in one sentence and then the numbers, and at the bottom we have the Latin script and then the numbers afterwards. Actually, I believe the second one is more successful approach because it considers the direction of writing. Imagine somebody see this sign and their first language is Arabic, or they don't know English. They just want to read the Arabic text. So it's important to position numbers alongside the text in order to help reader to make a better communication with the artboard. The second objective is that when we put these two scripts together, based on the amount of text, the length of the information in Arabic might be different with the Latin one. I will come into this detail in more deep details, but in some cases, the Arabic text might be shorter compared to the Latin one, and in some cases, it might be longer. In logotypes, which is a phonetic presentation of a content, the Arabic word is usually shorter, and the reason is that because Arabic script is abjad, which means just the consonants are applied, and each reader applies the sounds itself. For example, when we say al-tayyib, within the Latin text, we even write the sounds a or e, but within Arabic, we don't write the sounds. That's why when we have phonetic presentation of the words, the length of Arabic script is shorter than the Latin one. So in most of the logotypes, when the designers want to design a logo in these two different scripts, they encourage the Arabic letter forms in order to adjust the length of the Arabic text with the Latin one. In that case, they encourage the glyphs in order to make it wider. The other important objective is that Arabic script has a different baselines. So nowadays, most of the modern designers, when they want to create an Arabic typeface, they are trying to reduce the number of baselines that the letter form sits on in order to actually match it with Latin letter form, which is more geometric, which I will discuss in later, which I believe it's a wrong approach in order to apply the Latin typography system into the Arabic. And also the other problem with Arabic typefaces is that nowadays we have more variety in ways of Arabic scripts, but in most of the cases within the available typefaces within the Mac, we don't have different weights of Arabic scripts. For example, the Latin scripts is available in light, regular, italic, bold, extra bold, but within the Arabic letter scripts and typefaces, we have this problem. So in most of the cases, when we juxtapose Latin and Arabic typefaces together, especially in a long article, we don't have any actually replacement for the italic weight of Latin. If we write something in italic in Latin script, we don't have any actually match weights in Arabic script. And the other problem that I've seen in most of the design, which shows on the left image, within the Latin, we have lowercase and uppercase letter forms, but within the Arabic, we don't have that variety. In that case, when we juxtapose an uppercase Latin text alongside the Arabic, the Latin one looks more prominent. It comes to the front layer. So it's important to consider this thing, and I believe it might be applicable within Hindu script as well. When we want to juxtapose these scripts alongside the uppercase Latin scripts, it's important to make sure that both are presented at the same layer, because some of the readers might not be familiar with Latin or vice versa, so we don't have to impose the Latin script at the first layer. The next challenge that I had in my research was using standard terminologies. All of us are designers, but when we communicate to each other and we discuss about a specific matter, each of us use different terminologies and words in order to transfer a specific meaning. But for a more clear communication and understanding about the field of typography, we need some standard terminologies in order to enable us to discuss with a clear language with each other. So the first challenge that I had was the term bilingual typography, which most of us use. I realized during my discussion with my supervisors, I realized that bilingual typography is not a correct term for my research for two reasons. First of all, when we're talking about bilingual typography, it's about juxtaposition of two different languages. For example, it could include juxtaposition of Latin, English and German languages. Both of these languages are using the same script. Both are using Latin alphabets, A, B, C, D. It's called bilingual typography. On the other hand, if we have two different languages like English and Arabic or English or Persian, which scripts are different, it still calls bilingual typography. So I decided to divide bilingual typography into two branches based on the number of scripts that is used within that typographic composition. It could be solo script, which means, for example, like English and German, which both use Latin script, or it could be bi-script, which is like Arabic and Latin script. The other challenge with bilingual typography is about, imagine we have like an animation in kinetic typography. One script might present at the absence of the second script. For example, one script presents on the screen and after a few seconds, it disappears and the second language presents. It's called bilingual typography, but if we have one article which both languages are presented at the same time, it still calls bilingual typography. I wanted to focus on the juxtaposition of two different languages, which is simultaneously juxtaposed. So that's why instead of using bilingual typography, I use juxtaposed bi-script typographic composition. And the reason for typographic composition is because I believe using type and typefaces is not limited to graphic designers or typographers. These days, because the improvement of the technology, everybody is use different softwares in order to create something. They use even Word document, they open, anybody who has no idea about design or graphic design, they can type and they can select typefaces. So by typographic composition, I mean both designers and non-designers. And the other problem was with the terms type family, because most of the cases I've seen designers use this term to describe a typeface which is available in different scripts. But that's not true. According to Samara 2004, type family has nothing to do with variation of scripts available with a typeface, but it refers to variable widths and thicknesses available for a set of letter forms. So, for example, Gearsons is a type family because it's available in regular, bold, extra bold, lights. It has nothing to do with the different scripts available within one typeface. So that's why instead of type family, in order to describe a typeface which is available in two different scripts, I use bi-script typefaces. I had some other actually gaps within this research, but because of the limitation of the time, I won't jump to the conclusion. that in total, during my research, I realized in order to design by-script typefaces, it's important to consider a few issues. And one of the most important ones is that to consider the cultural background of the readers. Most of the times we think if I design one typefaces with Arabic script or in Hindu script, everybody who use Hindu or Arabic script, they can read and use that typeface, but it's not true. During the survey that I had with few type designers in Iran, which we use Arabic typefaces, they try to sell their typefaces in Arabic countries. We have somebody create a typeface with Persian cultural background, but try to sell the typeface in Arabic country with Arabic culture. They are not successful because each of us, based on our cultural background, we get to use a specific typefaces. During my professional career within my Persian customers, when I use Naziri typeface for Iranian customers, they tell me, oh, it looks Arabic, but I want to sell it in Persian community. So they ask me to change the typeface. So as a type designer or type user, I believe we should consider who are our readers and to which community it's supposed to sell. Thank you very much, and I welcome any questions.